Hey, David here, and welcome to my channel. So today, let's get the shop talk out of the way. I'm out with my Nikon ZR shooting NRAW today, 6K. Got my 20mm Viltrox. Of course, I'm shooting autofocus. Auto exposure, I've got it aperture priority today. Right now, I've got it set at 2.8, I think it is. Yeah, this is a 2.8 lens, so I may go up to f4, f8, depending on what's going on. It's a pretty sunny day today, but that's it. So let's get to what I'm going to be talking about today. So today I want to get you guys' opinions about some things, and I'm going to talk about some other stuff. So let's just kind of go over it real quick here. I got to 501 or 502 subscribers, I think it is. So thank you to you guys. That's that first threshold, but I still don't have enough public view hours or watch hours, I think they call it. I'm at 2,400 or something like that, and I need to get to 3,000. So that's part of why I need you guys' help. What kind of videos do you guys want me to make? I know some of you guys are ZR people. Some of you guys maybe are just motion picture people, or who knows what it is, but I don't know why you watch my channel or why you're subscribed, but for you ZR guys, what would you like me to be talking about? Got that sun back there, look at that, it's reflecting on the lens there. So what do you guys want me to talk about? Give me an idea of what subjects you want. Some of you guys, I think in the past, have said that you'd like me to talk about my workflow, some of the things I do in DaVinci Resolve, stuff like that. Let me know if you'd like that. I don't know if you want me to dive a little more into the menu structure on this camera. I don't know if you want me to dive into when I use it, when I don't use it. You guys know I have multiple cameras, things like that. And I might talk a little bit about that in this thing here. So that's the first thing I'm asking. You guys in the comments, let me know what you guys would like me to do videos about, okay? All right, so what do I want to talk about today? A couple things. I want to shout out to Joe. I hope I get his name right. I believe it's Joe Albert. Yeah, he's a guy that he subscribed to me a while back, and I subscribed to him. He's a photographer. I want to say he's a big Leica guy, but I know he likes Leica. He did a video, I think it was just today, about his Leica 50, and he went out to a cemetery. So anyway, Joe, I have to thank you because you gave me a little bit of inspiration. I'm not at a cemetery right now, but you gave me some inspiration about some things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the first thing about just getting out and just shooting stuff, which is kind of what I got the impression from him. He went out to that cemetery and took some shots, but he also mentioned AI, which I want to talk a little bit about AI. And then I'm also going to talk a little bit about some stuff that I'm working on, things that I'm doing, and I'll save that for the end for those of you that are interested in that sort of thing. Okay, so let's talk about Joe and his cemetery stuff. The thing that got me intrigued, if you will, or inspired, if you will, is that I don't think that he talked about this much in his video, but he went out to this cemetery. It was snowing. He had some black and white shots that he shot with his Leica. I think he picked up a new Leica 50mm lens or something. I'm not sure exactly what it was. I can't remember. But he went out and just was shooting stuff, and he liked the photos. And I thought it was interesting because it shows how you could just, you can take pictures at almost any location. You can go out and have a good time, if you will. And that's why, I've got a question for you guys. I don't care whether you're a ZR guy or a red guy or a VariCam guy. I don't know what you are or why you're watching my channel. I'll get into that in a second here too. But why do you go out and shoot stuff? Do you go out and shoot stuff because you are making a living doing this? Are you, do you have your cameras because it's a hobby for you? It brings you joy, if you will. Do you have your cameras because, like I said, because you're making a living with it? I'm curious because, sometimes you take pictures, maybe you put it on your YouTube channel, maybe you show it to your family, but sometimes you're taking pictures and you're just doing it for yourself, because you enjoy it. So, I think I've said this before. I don't know if it was this channel. I don't think it was this channel, but I said this thing. And some other thing I was doing is that, some people go out and, or I shouldn't say go out, but some people spend the weekend watching football games. Some people go to the beach. Oh, I remember what it was. I was talking about making movies, and I was curious. I was asking actors a question. I said, do you acting because you enjoy it? Do you do it because you want to be a superstar? Do you do it because you want to make money? Why do you ultimately do it? And the photography, video, motion picture industry, if you will, the people that are selling the stuff, I think that their bread and butter is the quote unquote hobbyists. It's the people that are doing it because they enjoy doing it. It has nothing to do with actually making any money at it. So be sure and leave your guys' comments. I'm curious, where you're at with that. I think Joe, I'm pretty sure Joe makes money as a photographer. I know he does. I think he's done funerals, things like that, and some other stuff. I don't know a lot of things he does, but I get the impression that he, obviously he's getting paid. He's very good at what he does. But anyway, Joe, I just want to thank you for that because it got me thinking. Maybe I'm going to go out to a cemetery. I made a comment saying, hey, I'm going to go out to a cemetery with my red weapon helium because I can get 8K photos as well as 8K raw video, and just maybe do some fun stuff. Okay, so now that brings me to the second thing I wanted to talk about regarding Joe's video. He talked about AI a little bit. He had a shot that he did where he went into, I think he said it was Nano Banana or something like that, which is Google's AI thing. He went into Nano Banana and added some, cloudy skies or something in the background behind that was more ominous or whatever you want to call it. And he added to that for an effect, for effect. And I get it. I understand why people do that. But here's what it got me thinking, or the question I have for you guys, and that is this. Me personally, and I know I'm a weirdo, so maybe it doesn't apply to you guys, but I'm getting a little or a lot weary about all this AI stuff where you watch something, I don't care where it is, YouTube, Facebook, I mean, I don't care where it is, and people are selling you on it being real, but it's not real. Now, I could say they're lying to me, and I don't like people lying to me, or you could say, oh, well, it's all in fun or whatever. But it's getting to the point now when you watch something, or at least for me, like I said, when I watch something, I'm wondering if it's actually real. And I don't like that. I don't like having to ask that question because, like for example, right now, what would happen if I was out here, we're chit-chatting and talking and then all of a sudden I wanted to pull away to a shot. Maybe I pulled away and it's just, it's nothing but trees and blue sky with clouds and whatnot out there. It's nothing, no big deal. But what if I were to say, and I'm not going to do it right now, but what if I was to say, oh, wow, look at that. I've never seen anything like that before. And then I pull it around and it's something that I try to make you believe is real, but it's not real at all. I could do some AI thing. Now, of course, you could do some spacecraft or some stupid thing like that or Bigfoot walking by. And I get it, it's not real. That's just in fun. But what if I did something that makes you think that it's actually real? I wonder whether or not you would enjoy that. Would you want to know whether it was real or not? Would you care whether it was real or not? I think it's an interesting world that we're getting into now because you don't you don't know what's real or not real. So I am very interested in your guys' opinions on that. Be sure and leave comments of whether or not it's actually irrelevant to you. When you see a photo or video or whatever it is, you don't care whether it's real or not real. You just think it's a cool photo. Another example I give is like tornadoes or storm clouds or something like that. I used to get a kick out of it, still do, somebody takes a picture in Oklahoma or Kansas or wherever they're at, and it's like this storm cloud forming or whatever. It's like, wow, that is just really neat. So what do you do if you have that storm cloud and they go, oh, wow, look at this neat storm cloud, look, and it's completely not real? What if it's 100% lie, 100% clickbait, call it whatever you want? What if it's just somebody trying to get you to watch their channel? I mean, it's an interesting time that we live in, and I'm just wondering whether or not any of you guys even care. I'm wondering whether people care about that or not. Okay, so let's talk about, some stuff that I'm working on right now, and I'm just curious whether or not you have any interest in me talking about this stuff. The thing that's interesting about YouTube is YouTube seems to be really narrowing their focus, if you will. And what I mean by that is they want to put everybody in a box, in a very, very, very small box. And I think right now I'm kind of in their Nikon ZR box because if I do a video that's not about Nikon ZR, they don't really promote it. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if you guys are YouTube guys, if you know what I'm talking about, but they'll promote it or they'll, throw it out to people or stuff like that. And I feel like I'm kind of in their Nikon ZR box, which is what it is. But I'm curious to you subscribers, and don't be afraid to leave comments here. Do you want me talking about the motion picture projects? When I say motion picture, I mean movie. Do you want me talking about movie projects that I'm working on? Are you curious about the real estate stuff that I'm doing? Are you at all? I'm curious what you guys, have any interest. For me, this channel, um, you know, I don't know what I want this channel to be, you know? Is it a ZR channel? Okay, yeah, I like my ZR. I like using my ZR, but I also like using my other cameras. I use them for different reasons, you know, for different projects. I'm just genuinely curious what you guys would like to see. Okay, so one last thing before I go. I've mentioned this before that, like I said, I'm at 500 subscribers right now, 5012, whatever it is. And I want to get to the point where I get that first level of, I don't know if you want to call it monetization or whatever it is, but it allows me to do some things, memberships and things like that. For those of you, I want to know how many of you actually want to know how to make money with the Nikon ZR, with the Z Red, because there's no point in me talking about how to make money with the Red Weapon or these others, because I mean, I know most of you guys aren't going to be going out and making movies and things like that. I get it. Okay. So I'm curious how many of you are genuinely interested on making money with the Nikon ZR? How many of you is this just a hobby camera? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, how many of you just, I don't know, want to make little mini movies? I mean, I don't know. It's funny. I was thinking about something else too. You know, when you talk about making money with the ZR, the Z Red, there's also the trade component. What do I mean by that? Some of you guys might, like restaurants or something like that. And stay with me here. And this is something I'll talk about in the future when I try to do the membership thing. But imagine if you used your Z Red to go out and do promo videos for restaurants and you just did it all on trade. Because a lot of restaurants, it might be hard for you to separate them from cash, but what if you don't try to separate them from cash? What do you say? Oh, just do it on trade. Okay. I mean, I've done this in the past and I kid you guys not. Have hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars at restaurants. That's trade. Right? So I throw a video together and I get, 10 meals out of it or whatever it is. And, I know that may sound a little kooky, but I'm just curious how many of you might be interested in something like that. I know it's not quote unquote making a living. It's borderline making money, but these are the kind of things that I'm just curious if you guys are interested in me talking about or not talking about. So anyway, that's it. Uh, as always, if you like what I'm doing here, my talking about nothing, as I like to call it, useless information, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down if you don't like it, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and we'll continue the journey. All right, take care.